Hey guys, and welcome back to Conservation Queen, and today is a DIY episode. So today I am going to be showing you guys one of the ways that you can use dandelions to create vegan alternatives to things. Every part of the dandelion is actually edible, but you do have to make sure that you are identifying the correct flower. You don't want to mix it up with anything else. And also do be aware that some people can have allergic reactions to the pollen of dandelions. So make sure you're sort of all in the know and you are up to date as to whether you're allergic to pollen before you start any of this. If you are, just wash your hands, make sure you're not touching your eyes, anything. Anyway, let's get started. Today I am going to be showing you guys how to make dandelion honey. So it's a vegan alternative to honey. If some of you don't know, honey is kind of a bit of a grey area for vegans. Some vegans do say they don't have an issue because the bees naturally produce it anyway. Others say it's still harvesting. That is up to everyone's own decision. So do comment vegan down below and let me know what your views are on it. Are you pro or against honey? But remember, always be nice, be kind, and always respect other people's opinions and decisions. So I'm going to try this recipe out today. It does take quite a long time. It actually takes 12 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film the first bit today, and I'm going to film the rest of it tomorrow. So yeah, be wary. It takes a long time. The first thing you obviously want to do is to pick your dandelions. When you're picking your dandelions, make sure you're trying to pick away from the road and it's not in areas that are covered in animal poo and bits, you know. You want the dandelions you're using to be quite fresh, pure and clean basically. So when you're picking the flower, you want the flower to look open and fresh and relatively well preserved. Just like this flower here, you want it open, well preserved and not too broken. Dandelions open their flowers and petals during the day and close up at night. You want to make sure that you're picking them at a sort of optimum time when they're fully open. Another little tip that I'm going to give you guys is to make sure that you pick them just before you're about to make your honey. I picked mine a couple of hours ago. I was going to start filming and then my landlord came over, so I had to sort of stop and take a minute and get all that stuff sorted, and in those couple of hours my flowers have already begun to wilt. So make sure as soon as you're ready to make that honey, go out and pick them so they're as fresh as they possibly are. When you're out there picking up your dandelion flowers, you want to get about 2 cupfuls of flowers. So just the flowers, no stalks. You want to be able to fill about 2 cups worth. This is the size of a cup. This is 2 of these you need to be filling, 2 cups. The other ingredients you're going to need to make sure that you have for your recipe is a lemon and sugar and water. That is it. The first step is to cut your dandelions and make sure they're bug free, which is what we've already done. The next step is to place 1.5 cups of water into a pan, add about 2 lemon slices and then your 2 cups of dandelion heads. You then leave it on a simmer for 15 minutes and then leave this to cool and infuse overnight. So this is where at the beginning I said it is a really long process. It will take about 12 hours to infuse. So I highly suggest kind of doing it in the sort of later part of the afternoon and going back to it the following morning, which is what I'm planning to do with mine. Hey guys, it's day 2. So I've let my mixture infuse overnight, which will hopefully get all those flavours in for it. And the next thing I have to do is to strain it. So what I'm using for that, really simple, just a sieve, and what I'm going to be doing is just popping it over the bowl like so and pouring my mixture into it. As you can see here, what I've done is I've put my bowl straight onto my scales just to make it easier. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it all through and really press it to get all the juices all the way through into my bowl, and I'm weighing it. The reason I'm weighing it is because once I go to the next step, I need to weigh out the same amount of sugar. So that's why I'm not just straining it straight back into another bowl, back into the pan. Now I'm going to add the sugar to the pan. The next step is to gently heat the mixture until all the sugar has dissolved. Once it's dissolved, we will bring it up to a gentle boil for 15 minutes. Okay, so my honey has been boiling for nearly 15 minutes now. When it comes to sort of making the call about finishing up and pouring it into the glasses, I would recommend just continuously checking it with a spoon to see that you start getting that sort of thicker texture. But I would say try and pop it into the jars before it reaches your desired texture or consistency, just because otherwise it can caramelize in the jar because it does continue to thicken as it cools. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop it into my 2 jars that I've got prepped and ready. So I've got my 2 sterilized jars, and I'm now going to pour the liquid into the jars. I've popped them in 2 jars just because I do want my family to be able to try it too. But now I'm going to pop the lid on the jars and continue to let it set. You want to put the lids on the jars whilst they're still hot and allow it to set with the lids on. And now just let it set. So it's been a few hours and I have left it to set and cool for just a few hours after I finished pouring it, just to make sure it was the perfect consistency. Mine is on the runny side. That's just because I always get scared of burning things, so I decided to go on the safe side and keep it a little bit runny. But obviously that's completely down to you. Honestly, it tastes great. It does taste a little lemony because obviously you do have the lemon slices in. So if it is something that you want a little bit less of a lemon taste, then just reduce it down to 1 lemon slice. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Conservation Queen and for coming along on my journey of making my very own vegan dandelion honey. Please, if you have been enjoying this episode, comment honey down below. Let me know what you think and what your results are. I've absolutely loved filming this episode and I'm now gonna go make some toast to pop this on. So thanks so much for watching and until next time, bye guys!